you're killing yourself. And you don't even know you're doing that right now. It's progressive, it's slow, it accumulates over every day, week, month, year. You might not know it now, but everything you're doing right now is leading you to a slow and progressive death. I know this sounds very clickbaity, it sounds like I'm just trying to hook y'all in, but I've done a lot of reflecting. I'm 31 this year, turning 32. I've always been really into fitness. But what I realized is that I wasn't living a very healthy lifestyle. And sure, I looked great. Well, according to the average standard, yeah, great. If you look at bodybuilders, I didn't look great, but that was my goal, was to improve my aesthetics, physique. And back then, everyone called it bodybuilding or going to the gym, weight training. Now I think the 20-year-olds, the Gen Zs, and even Gen Alphas call it looks maxing, improving your looks. And it's not just physique now, it's about how can we get a better jawbone, a better structure in the face, improve our face to looks max. But having done this since I was 18, weight training that is, improving my physique, looking quote unquote good according to society's standards, what I realize is that actually, if you improve your health, your looks are gonna improve. They go hand in hand. And there's been several times where when someone asks me, how old are you? And I said, well, I'm 31. They go, wait, what? I didn't expect that. And yes, I think a lot of it is genetic. Some people are very unlucky where they have unfavorable genes, i.e. balding. They're more predisposed to having more fat. That is a fact. But there's many things you can do to minimize your aging. And again, I've spoken about this before in previous videos, the difference between lifespan and health span. And I hear a lot of people go, oh, well, I don't want to live this long anyway. By the time I'm 80 or 70, I want to be dead. I'm like, okay, I can see and understand that. Fair enough. I don't agree with it. I used to think the same way. I used to think, I'd rather drop dead at 60. What's the point? But what I've started to realize over the last couple of years is there's a lot of 60, 70, even 90-year-olds who are still running marathons, ultra marathons, weight training, lifting heavy, and they live an incredibly amazing life. They can still walk, they can move, they can enjoy life. And then you've got some who at 60 already struggle. Yeah, well, what are we talking about here? It's not lifespan, it's health span. And if you're living to 70, but you're bedbound by 60, yeah, the last 10 years are gonna be rubbish. Yeah, obviously I'd rather die at 62. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is by health maxing, by doing the things I'm gonna tell you, you can live till you're 80 and still live an amazing life. And I really, truly believe that. And the 3 pillars, it's really clear, well, at least to me, but I have been doing this for many years. I've done a master's in sports science. I can go through research, I can look at what influencers say and right away spot whether or not this is bullshit or not. I'm not being arrogant, I'm just simply saying this is what I do. This is what I know best. I don't really educate or talk about anything else because everything else is technically outside my scope. And that includes medicine too, and that's why I don't really touch upon medical points, because that's where maybe a physio, an orthopedic surgeon, or any other medical doctor can talk more about that within their scope and are able to explain things better. But from a health and fitness standpoint, I'm a personal trainer. I would call myself an exercise specialist. There's 3 pillars, okay? 1, your sleep. In my opinion, this is a no-brainer. You've got to maximize your sleep. I think according to a research paper, I'm not sure which one, 2/3 of the population amongst developed countries in the world, 2/3 of the population in that given sample size are underslept. They don't sleep enough. Now, what does undersleeping cause? Pretty much all forms of health risks. cancer, diabetes, dementia, the list goes on. Your increased likelihood, you're much more likely to die and catch these things in your lifetime. Sorry, I'm stuttering a bit. It's kind of hot out here right now. So it's a bit hard to gather my thoughts. On top of that, I haven't slept as well over the last week because I was on holiday. And yeah, I can definitely feel the effects, the short-term effects. My memory's not as good. I can't form coherent sentences as well. So yeah, that's just short-term sleep deprivation. Now imagine people who've been chronically sleep deprived for years, and that's a lot of people. And when I talk about sleep deprivation, I'm not even just talking about getting hours. Everyone just talks about hours. No, it's not just about the hours. It's about the quality of sleep. And honestly, I'll ask people, oh, how did you sleep? What's your sleep schedule like? Every week, how much sleep do you average? And not only do most people have dog crap lengths of sleep, their quality of sleep is also terrible. Most people wake up feeling tired. If you sleep well, if your sleep quality is good, your sleep length and duration is good, you shouldn't actually be waking up tired. And now that I'm more in tune with understanding sleep, I've realized, oh my goodness, over the last longer than that, since high school, I haven't actually slept well because pretty much every day I would wake up feeling not tired. And on the occasional day where I woke up feeling good, I'd be like, wow, this is awesome. I wish I could sleep like this all the time and wake up feeling like this. Turns out it's not luck. It's my, I guess, naivety. I thought I knew a lot about health already. How wrong was I? I would highly recommend reading the book Why We Sleep. I believe it's by Matthew Walker. I'm about halfway through it, and it's an amazing book. But the summary is what I said. If you're not sleeping enough and you're chronically sleep deprived, your increased likelihood of contracting any of those things I mentioned previously is there. So sleep, get your sleep down. And if any of y'all want to know more about sleep, comment below. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm not a sleep expert. There are channels out there with sleep experts that talk more about how you can truly maximize your sleep, but I know the basics, like getting a hot shower in, and then keeping your room cool about 16 to 19 degrees Celsius, making sure that you don't eat 3 hours before bed, roughly around then. The sleep gets disrupted by digestion. Making sure you're off electronics an hour before bed, which is something I still struggle with, but I slap on blue light filters, as well as wear red light filter glasses, which supposedly don't actually help that much, but hey, I suppose better than nothing. But the best thing to do is get off electronics an hour before bed. And there's other things that can help you maximize it too. We won't talk about that in this video. So yeah, sleep, that would be the #1 priority. And why am I saying that as a #1 priority? Obviously, everything works in conjunction with each other. But the main thing about sleep is it's free. There's literally no reason for you to come up with an excuse saying, well, I'm not sleeping. Now, obviously there are. So some people, let's say they chose to have kids and their baby wakes up at 5 a.m. Well, you should probably be a responsible parent and go, yeah, I should probably handle that and not just leave them alone, which I'm sure some parents do, but you get my point. And yes, there are gonna be times where you're gonna struggle with sleep due to stress, anxiety, but the goal should be to improve that. And I know a lot of people go, yeah, well, you can do that. You work a freelance job, you don't need to feed a family. Yes, but I also chose this lifestyle, and I chose to have a freelance job to maximize my health and prioritize my relationships. So maybe it's time to also ask yourself, what am I prioritizing here? And fair enough, if your priority is not your health, by all means, but you're probably not watching this channel anyways if that's not your priority. So I'm sure for the folks that are watching right now, you know you need to improve your health. And the first step is to getting your sleep down. And the easiest thing you can do first, before I even talk about all the sleep hygiene stuff, is just sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time. It's not easy, it's this day and age with social media, but That's what I try and do. And I make sure I sleep before 11 p.m. It's been a little later lately because of holiday, and wake up at around 7:40. So yeah, that gives me about 8 and a bit hours. Ideally, I aim for 9 because I do work out a lot. And I have noticed that I'm so tired over the last couple of days that my workouts have suffered. And you know, when you work out while you're suffering with sleep deprivation, that affects your subsequent recovery and workouts too. So it's not just a one-time thing. A lot of people think, oh, well, it's just one workout. No, it compounds 100%. And that's how you end up being sick, you end up being injured. And that's what happened to me for so many years, is just constantly getting sick. And now I'm truly understanding why. It's because I'm compromising my own immune system by not sleeping well enough. And that's why you are progressively dying a slow death, and you're the cause of it. Now, obviously it's easy to just blame the individual. Yes, I do believe it's the system's problem as well. A lot of people have to work 9 to 5. In Asia, it's 9 to 7, 9 to 9. And yeah, it's horrible. So you have to determine what is your priority, what is more important. Is it building wealth or health? Hopefully both. But yeah, that's not a topic for now. So the second pillar, your diet. Sleep all you want and sleep really well, but if your diet's rubbish, you're still not gonna live a healthy life. It's like putting diesel into a petrol-fueled car. Like, yeah, it's not gonna work. And sure, we might work for a bit, but you don't realize you're actually slowly causing more problems later on. Diabetes, that's the main one with food. You're not functioning as well. When you eat a healthy diet, when you have a healthy diet, you live a much better lifestyle. I'm only starting to do that now. I used to think, well, I can out-exercise my poor diet. And people already say, but your diet's pretty good already. And I'm like, yeah, it was pretty good compared to the average person, but the average person has a terrible diet. So I pretty much cut out most processed foods. I have it occasionally, but look, I just did my grocery haul. I actually did more, but I had to come down for a second trip, and look at the foods I've got in here, right? Like, just take a look. I got corn. I mean, ideally it's fresh corn, but it's just easier. So I got corn, I got kidney beans, some kimchi, probiotics. I got tomatoes. I got, chia seed bread. That's where I get my fiber. Fiber is really important in our diet, and a lot of people don't eat enough of this. I've talked about this many times. But yeah, getting healthy foods. If you look at my fridge, most of the stuff in there is food that you can grow, food that comes from nature. And if there's anything you need to know when it comes to what foods you should eat more of, think 2,000 years ago, what food still remains. If it's something that's not there, probably not good for you. Try and limit that. And I'm not someone who believes you need to cut out everything completely, but what I've also realized is when I eat healthily, I don't crave these things. And the only time I crave those things is if I'm not sleeping enough, which actually studies have shown when you don't sleep enough, you're more likely to crave crappy food, you're gonna eat more. Your ghrelin hormone, that's the one that controls your hunger signals. That's what's gonna elevate and make you feel hungrier. So eat healthily, sleep more. I'm happy to talk more about diet later on. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, but and that's why I can't give specific advice to people, but I can give general advice. So if there's anything you need to know about diet, think if it's in nature, like plants, pretty good. Meat, good. Fruits, good. Rice, potatoes, no problem. Those are the things you want to eat more of. Now, the third pillar, exercise. This is the holy trinity. If you get these three down, your health's gonna be really, really good. And what are the recommendations for health? For exercise? Well, first off, you need a minimum of moderate intensity cardiovascular exercise you need to do 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardiovascular exercise per week. That's not little. Most people go, well, I walked a little bit. That technically doesn't count as moderate, that's light. Better than nothing though. But if we're talking about moderate intensity exercise, cardiovascular exercise, that's about zone 2. which is from my memory, I can't even remember. I think it was 60 to 70% of your heart rate, max heart rate, maybe a little higher. No, I think it's a bit higher. So around 70 to, no, it can't be 80. Can it be 80? I don't even remember. Around then, so around 70% of your max heart rate. How do you calculate your max heart rate? You can put it in a calculator, or you can just use a simple formula, 220 minus your age. Zone 2, 150 minutes a week. That means you need to go into the gym 3 times and do it for 50 minutes. Yeah, let's be real, most people are not doing that. That's the minimum. And the other option is you can do high intensity cardiovascular exercise for 75 minutes a week, which most people are not doing as well. There's plenty of studies to show that cardio decreases your risk of dying and comorbidities as well. So you're just less likely to die. You're also gonna have a much better and higher quality of lifestyle as well. And that's determined by our VO2 max. The higher your VO2 max, the better, and the more likely you will live a healthier and longer life. So, long story short, do more cardio. Next thing, weight training. Really important. Muscle loss, bone mineral density loss, massive issues as well. So, especially amongst women, perimenopause and menopause, that really decreases your bone mineral density as well as increases muscle loss. So get into the weight room. And the thing is, in order to prevent these issues or minimize, your risk of getting these diseases, all you have to do is about 2 times a week of weight training. And you need to only hit each body part about 2 to 4 times per week, which is actually a really low amount. And obviously, if you want to look good, that's a completely different story, weight training to build muscle. Twice a week will get you a decent amount, like a little bit, enough for you to be healthy. Will it make you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Absolutely not. Will it make you look like the fitness models you see? No. These people are training 5-6 days a week, probably on steroids as well. But if you wanted to have a decent physique with the extra, and if you're doing your cardio already, to be honest, 3-4 days of full body workouts per week of weight training is gonna be plentiful. So yeah, it's not little. When you actually add it all up, you're doing a pretty decent amount of exercise. And I'm very lucky that I grew up with these habits. I love sports, I love fitness. But unfortunately, if you're someone who doesn't love it, yeah, you're still gonna have to do it. Because if you care about living well and living long, there's nothing else that replaces it. As much as media, companies that sell supplements want to tell you, oh, this supplement will help. No, I'm sorry, but there's a reason why it's called a supplement. A supplement can only help you if you already got the good foundations. Then it's only going to help you by a little bit. But you've got to dial down on these 3 things. And if you're not already doing these 3 things, yeah, your chances of living longer and living a healthier lifestyle is going to be much lower. And I use the stress watch app to tell me my pace of aging as well as my biological age, and I'm getting quite big into that. I like the idea of being 60 and still being able to run a marathon. Well, I can't run a marathon yet, but I don't know if that's something I want to do. That's a story for another day or a video for another day, but a half marathon, a fast 10K. I would love to be able to cycle longer, swim, all these things. So many things in life that I want to be able to do. And if I'm 80, I want to be able to enjoy it. I also have ADHD, and I haven't read enough about it just yet, but I think we are more prone to Alzheimer's. So what's going to help with that and decreasing my risk of it? More exercise. I've also started playing chess again to help improve brain activity, move my brain, use my brain more. So chess is a great game to help with that. I used to actually play a lot back in Hong Kong, but yeah, maybe at some point compete as well. So I get brain gains, physical gains, all the health gains. And not gonna lie, that gives me goosebumps right now. It gets me really excited. And I hope I can share my journey and also inspire y'all to do the same thing, because what's more important than health? To be honest, I really don't know. Because if you're not healthy, how are you gonna build more wealth? How are you going to build good relationships? And funnily enough, having good social relationships actually increases your quality of life as an older adult and also increases your lifespan. So there are plenty of studies to show as well that old people who have a social circle and they regularly engage in social activities live a longer and better life. So get networking. And I'm lucky I'm an extrovert, so not as difficult for me, but for you introverts out there, it's still gonna help. But yeah, that's the video for today. Please don't die a progressively slow death. Please follow my channel, subscribe, comment, tell me what else y'all wanna hear. But for now, I'm gonna take off and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.